brings in the Mishnah Brewer in hilchos tefillin, Lamed Vav, in the inyan of how to form the letters from the Torah, known as the Ashura script. It brings how to be medachdate in the kesiva, how that one who wants to learn how to write the oises, how he should form them, and how that he shouldn't look like a ois that is similar to it. Each ois has to have their own surahs. Each ois has to conform according to the halakas that we know from Masorah, how that we have in the Shulchan Aruch, that we learn from the base Yosef, we get from the Tur Shulchan Aruch. Hilchos Tefillin is really the main source, the basis of the three inyanim of Mukaf Kavil, Shelo Kesidron, and Chak Toiches. These are three principles that are supposed to use in the writing of the ois. So it brings down in the first halakha here, Hilchos Tefillin, Siman Lamed Vav, Dikduk Hasivosam, Ubo Gimel Saifim. There are three seifim in this chapter here, very short. It begins with the Beis Yosef that says, Lidakdate, Bikasiva Ois Yoshelo Dishtane, Surah is Shumakas Mehem, Velo Tidma Liacheris. The Ramah writes on the Beis Yosef, Lichadchil Lichtad Bikasiva Tama, Ukamavur Betur Bishar Poiskim, Vahu Yadua Eitzel Soifri, Mihu Im Shinui Bitsurais. Haksav Eno Puzzle. Basically, the Beis Yosef writes that a person who is writing the script, the ois, whether it be a sofer or somebody who's not a sofer who's learning to write, so he has to be ledakted, he has to be precise in the kesiva of these letters. He shouldn't mishane the suros mishum achas mehem. He shouldn't take the surah and change it from what it's supposed to be. He shouldn't make it doma to another ois. In other words, we have the ois chaf kafufa and we have base. So chaf kafufa looks very much like a base, but the only difference between the two is that by a chaf kafufa it's rounded on the top and rounded on the bottom. If a sofer would make the kaf kafufa like a base, which is what? Just the opposite, that it's straight on the bottom, straight on the top. If he would make it straight on the bottom, so the ois would become null and void, it would become puzzle. Why? Because this is what it means that he changes the suros of what it needs to be, which needs to be rounded on the top and rounded on the bottom, and he makes it zavis, he makes it square on the bottom. Now, if he did the opposite, for instance, if he needed to write a kaf kafufa, which is rounded on the top and rounded on the bottom, and he made it zavis on the top and it's rounded on the bottom, so this is also mishane in the suros that it needs to be, but it doesn't necessarily puzzle the ois. Why? Because really the ikar of both the oises, a chaf kafuf or a base, is the ikar is the bottom. And since the bottom is square in a base or in a chaf kafuf, it is rounded, so it still has, could be that it still has the suros ois. Could be a suffix. You have to ask a tinuk. Tinuk needs to morid the din. But nevertheless, the ois is not puzzle. It still has somewhat of its suros, a chelik of the suros of what it's supposed to be. The Ramah adds to this and says that the kasav should be a kasiva tama, which is ukasavtam. If you split the letter ukasavtam, it becomes kasiva tama, which is a beautiful kasav. The letter shouldn't be touching, it shouldn't be broken, no nifslakim, shouldn't be negiyas, ben ois la ois, whatever it'll be, the shura lamala or lamata. The ois should be nice, beautiful, full body ois, the golem echad. The tour, this is what he brings in the tour, the bishar poiskim, that they makabel the masoira. The Ramah Science, he finishes the halakha here by saying in shina b'tzura is ha'aksav eino pasuk, meaning that if a sofer or a person learning to write, he changes the script that is needed for Sefer Torah to fill in mezuzahs, the script, the kasav ishuras, and he makes a different script, say a script that like a calligraphy type of a script from the oisi ois. It's not the Yeshuras, but it looks like an olive, but it's a different type of script. It looks like a base. So if the sofer would write to fill in mezuzahs, Sefer Torah, with a script not of the Yeshuras, but nevertheless it has its surais, so the Ramah mitaritz the halakha by saying what? Ain't no puzzle. It's not puzzle. Why? Is because nevertheless it's still, even though it doesn't have the surahs of what we need, of what we learn from the Messiah, is handed down to us that the ois needs to be a kasav yeshuras. Nevertheless, it still has the surahs of what is needed. It still looks like an olive. Even though it's a little bit different, it still looks like a base, and so on.
שכח את אף אחד